I used to think trust was the quiet rhythm of love, steady, unseen, and easy to forget until it fades. When Evan proposed last year, it felt like my world had finally found balance. He was calm when I was impulsive, patient when I was reckless. We didn't burn like fireworks. Our love was a steady hum in the background, soft and familiar. Or so I believed. It began on a Friday night, one of those harmless evenings that turn into turning points. My friends had planned a girls' night. Too much wine, bad karaoke, and endless laughter. When I told Evan, he smiled and kissed my forehead. "You deserve a break," he said. I didn't know then he was planning a surprise. The bar glowed with neon lights, the music pounding loud enough to drown thoughts. My friends were already 2 drinks ahead when I arrived. Between shared fries and an off-key Taylor Swift song, my phone buzzed, a text from Evan. "Hope you're having fun. Don't stay too late." I smiled. I loved how he cared without being controlling. It made me feel safe. I texted back something teasing and tucked my phone away. That was the last ordinary message between us. An hour later, I went to the bar for another drink when a voice from my past froze me. "Hannah, is that really you?" My stomach tightened. It was Mark, my ex, the man who once made chaos feel like passion. We hadn't spoken in years, yet seeing that same smirk, that careless confidence, stirred something I didn't want to feel. He said he was visiting a friend. Then, before I realized, he was sitting at our table. My tipsy friends welcomed him like an old movie character, making a surprise return. I should have asked him to leave. I should have walked away. But I didn't. Maybe it was curiosity, or the foolish thought that one conversation won't hurt. He ordered shots. 1 turned to 2, then 3. The music faded into a blur as we talked about memories, regrets, and apologies years too late. I laughed at something he said, feeling that old ache twist into confusion. I didn't even notice how close he leaned in. At that moment, Evan walked in. He texted my best friend earlier, planning to surprise us with dessert from our favorite bakery. He wanted to see my face light up when he appeared. But instead, he saw me sitting across from my ex, smiling in a way that looked too familiar. Our eyes met. His expression wasn't anger. It was colder, quieter. Shock cut through me. I stood so fast my chair scraped the floor. "Evan, this isn't." But he didn't wait for an explanation. He just nodded once, as if something inside him had shifted, then turned and walked away. I ran after him into the cold night, calling his name, my voice breaking. He didn't stop until he reached his car. I grabbed his arm, desperate, words tumbling out. "It's not what it looked like, I swear." He looked at me then, really looked, and said words I'll never forget. "You know what hurts the most, Hannah? I wasn't scared of you being with someone else. I just never thought I'd see you smiling like that and nod at me." Then he got in the car and drove off. That was the night everything steady and safe inside me broke in silence. The drive home felt endless. Every red light dragged like punishment. His words echoed in my head. "I just never thought I'd see you smiling like that and nod at me." It wasn't what he saw that hurt him. It was what it meant. That somewhere along the way, he'd lost something I hadn't even noticed slipping away. At home, I texted and called him again and again until my phone burned in my hand. No reply. His read receipts were off. His silence deafened me. The next morning, his things were gone. The photo from our first trip to Maine had disappeared. Half the closet was empty. I sat on the floor, surrounded by the quiet he left behind, and cried until my throat ached. No screaming, no anger, just that heavy kind of sobbing that comes when you realize you were careless with something precious. 2 days later, his sister Mia messaged me. "He's staying here for a while," she said. "He just needs time. He's hurt, but he's not angry." That line broke me. I wanted him to be angry. Anger meant there was still something left. But silence felt final. I didn't reach out again. Maybe I was afraid to confirm he was truly gone. I buried myself in work, pretending I was fine. My friends called it a misunderstanding, said I hadn't cheated. But I knew emotional betrayal doesn't need proof. Sometimes it's just being too comfortable in the wrong moment. A week later, I found myself parked outside Mia's house. I hadn't planned to go in, but sitting there felt cowardly. So I knocked. Evan opened the door. His hair was messy, his eyes tired, not angry, just worn out. "Hannah," he said softly, like my name still hurt to say. "I just need 5 minutes," I whispered. He nodded and stepped aside. The house smelled of coffee and rain. We sat at the kitchen table, him quiet, me trembling. "I didn't plan any of it," I said. He showed up. "I handled it wrong. But I never wanted to hurt you." Evan listened, calm and silent, the way he always used to. When I finished, he exhaled slowly. "I believe you didn't cheat," he said. "But I also believe part of you still wanted that attention." You smiled like you missed being seen. That hit harder than I expected because he was right. Somewhere between comfort and routine, I'd stopped noticing how much he needed to feel chosen. Maybe I had too. "I don't know how to fix this," I whispered. He gave a sad, gentle smile. "Maybe it's not about fixing it. Maybe it's about learning why it broke." We sat there for a long time, two people who still loved each other but didn't know how to bridge the distance. Before I left, he said, "Take care of yourself, Hannah." There was warmth in his tone, but no invitation. Outside, the sky was turning gray. I stood there realizing that sometimes love doesn't end with betrayal or shouting. It ends with exhaustion, the slow erosion of trust until even innocence looks suspicious. Months have passed. I still think about that night, about how one careless smile can rewrite an entire love story. I don't blame him for leaving. If I were him, I might have done the same. Sometimes I scroll through old photos and remember how his eyes used to light up when he looked at me. I wonder if he ever thinks of me, or if he's finally found peace in the quiet I left behind. Maybe love isn't about grand gestures or fireworks. Maybe it's about the small, ordinary choices, the ones that either protect what we have or slowly destroy it. And maybe, just maybe, that night wasn't the end of our story. Maybe it was simply the moment I learned what losing real love truly feels like.